Straight to the vise for this field session. First up is a rubber leg bead head version of a Whitlock's red fox squirrel hair nymph. That's a lot to say. Extremely good fly though. I fish it like a streamer as opposed to a nymph. Tie this one on a 3X long hook. Get a hook out, get it in the vise. So it's simple to get the bead on. A small hole. Slide that on. I just leave that right there. I grab it here. That way the bead doesn't jump back off on me. All right, first thing, I'm going to be using some, actually, I can tell you what, hook. It's a 3X hook. It's a TMC 5263, tying on a size 6. You can go smaller, you can go a little larger if you want. I'm going to push the bead rearward. Get some thread on here. I'll show you the way Dave gets the bead mounted solid. Of course, a lot of times we'll use wire lead wraps behind here and you just push it up inside the bead, but get my thread. Two-turn whip finish. Make sure that's still going to fit there. Perfect. All right. A little bit of super glue. I'm going to use slide tire cement. Any type of super glue. That gap is what Dave would use. That's what he sells. Just a little coat on there. And slide the bead up on the thread. Now as the tie, the glue will set and it's going to be solid. My thread started behind the bead. From the thread base. Back to the hook barb. We're going to put a tag in. Back to the barb. And what I'm going to use for the tag is Flashabou. It's a pearl dyed orange. Number 6967 is actual color. As long as you get close, I'm sure it's going to be fine. Slide this around and in under the hook or under the thread. Come up and line it down just a little. Make sure I'm back to the barb. Get this thread forward out of the way. Because we're going to go back to a little bit of the tire cement. And put just a light coat on the hook fin where we're going to wrap the tag. All the way down around the end of the hook. Careful not to get nicked on the hook point. Got my thread off. Last turn in front of thread. That way all I have to do is come up, take a normal turn, and that ties it off. So there's the tag. Next, we need the tail. And tails we're going to get from our squirrel. Look over here, get rid of the fluff in here. Like a nice bushy tail for this fly. About the hook cape length. Now, it can be tricky tying this type of tail on, or type of material on it once it roll around. You come up, pinch it, come down, pinch in the same spot, pinch in the same spot, pull straight up. That way, if I pull straight up, that way there shouldn't be any thread torque come into play at all. Get some of this excess. This down securely. Now I need to tie the rib on. I'm going to use the exact same material that I did for the tag. It's a longer piece of the Flashabou. Now, Dave had his own blend of SLF dubbing. This color is for this fly. And he's also got a darker color for the thorax area. Now I'm just going to dub this in what I consider standard dubbing method. Dave starts the dubbing and keeps it connected to the bundle of dubbing and just wraps bobbin thread dubbing and everything around. And that works well. I want to try to keep this body fairly thin. Abdomen, I should say. If you want to see the method that Dave actually uses, I tied one of these without the rubber legs and the bead head on a shorter hook on gill number 6. So you can go back and have a look at that and see the just a little bit more. Gotta leave room for my thorax behind the bead. And first off, we'll grab the rib. The thorax area. In the center of this, but finish. So things won't go anywhere. And now it's time for the rubber legs. You can use any type of rubber leg material that you want. Silly legs, crazy legs, round rubber. I've got some spinner bait skirt material left over from my days a spin fisherman before I discovered fly fishing. Actually, I discovered fly tying before I got into fly fishing. this over to the other side. And on the material on the side, I like to pull it down with my thumb. Spin my thread counterclockwise, that way it rolls right off my thumbnail. And stays where I want it. Get this cut to length. Legs out of the way. A quick whip finish. The killed version of the red fox squirrel hair nymph. And I've kept the abdomen fairly level, I'll say, as opposed to tapering as a lot of abdomens do on flies. I like to tie it like this. My smallmouth there in my local area. Really like this. I fish it like I said, I fish it as a streamer rather than a nymph. First fly. Next up is a nymph pattern from Roger Lowe's Fly Pattern Guide. Nymph pattern used year round in the Great Smoky Mountain area. I've got a 9671 mustad hook in any standard nymph or 1X long. It's going to work and be just fine. I'm going to get a thread base. Back to the barb. To the barb now. The tail, kind of unique for a nymph. Golden pheasant tippet side. I like to have this about hook shank length. I do like the both black bars line visible. Index finger on the back side of the hook so it doesn't roll. Get rid of that extra. Stack of both them. I'll cut the very tips off. And the thread counterclockwise. Now the Peacock pearl, excellent material. I really love it in the water. Fish seem to love it as well. It's somewhat fragile. So it wrap the peacock around the thread. It's going to make it a lot sturdier. If you've got a rotary vise, you can spin it up and you've got basically a peacock coral chenille. I could just use that to roll it right onto the body, or onto the hook shank, I should say. Now get rid of the thread for now. Last turn of thread in, or of peacock in front of thread. The turn behind. Get rid of the excess. Any goose biots. Use white goose biots. Pull this one off. These have natural curve. I like that curve to curve away from the body. Something like this, I like to hold it with my thumb. Pick the thread up after it's spun counterclockwise, and it jumps right back where I need it. The curve's going away from the body. And the thread counterclockwise again. Comes up to the right paw against my finger, right? I want it to. Get this adjusted. Bring these down, and at the same time make a platform for the hackle. Got some Coachman brown hackle. Sized properly for the hook. And the way I like to tie this type hackle in, I'm going to strip some of the barbs off of each side. A little bit more off of the side that's going to be the lead. I like to tie hackle in so it's in the same plane as what we want it to end up being. Usually we tie hackle in and we lay it down along the hook shank, and then the first thing we do is grab it and pull it up 90 degrees. Probably tie it on like this, and then you've got the hackle right there where you want it to begin with. That's turned in front of the thread. Build up a little bit of the head. Now, let's see which way the remainder of the hackle is going to go rearward, as opposed to forward, where we're going to need to cover that up. The thread wraps. Not make that wet. Have a much smaller, neater looking head. Now, I'm going to angle this up. Do a half hitch and a whip finish. My thread snipped off, and there is a secret weapon. Secret weapon is called. All right. That is the end of that fly. Hopefully I'll see everybody next month. Thanks for viewing.